I've noticed a reduction in my play count over the past week, and I wasn't tripping too hard. Got on my app yesterday just to check the data, and I noticed that my album was off Spotify.
What the fuck do I pay you for? You fail me nearly every single time.
You upload my music without my permission? Add me as a collaborator so that you can share in the money? You gonna do that with me? And then when I hit you up and I say, hey, my boy, take that shit down, you do this. I'll beat your ass.
Curtis, DIY.
DIYers, we're already 8 years into the new year. And yes, I said 8 years. And it's so much that is going on that it feels like years and not days. Damn it, we already have our first issues from DistroKid and Spotify. And if you're an independent artist, I think you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. The first story comes courtesy of a very influential artist from out here in Los Angeles named Thurz. Thurz came into the game as part of a group called You and I, and then went on to have a very powerful presence as an independent artist. He's actually coming off a really successful collaboration with Dr. Dre. And so this is an artist that definitely shouldn't be dealing with the issues that he shares. With that said, he put a screenshot up here from Threads on Instagram and said, my album was doing cool across DSPs. He released a new album. It hit 600K streams and then Spotify removes it. He says, I'm pretty upset. As I'm sure any artist would be. Man, that is insane. Now, obviously, we've covered a few different stories that showed last year the first steps that Spotify took to trying to protect their platform from bot streams and from fictitious streams. And that's not to say that those don't exist, right? There's playlists that are actually out there still right now that have presented themselves as a service that you can pay for, and they'll pretty much give you fictitious streams and rise you higher up the chart system or whatever your particular goal is. They don't get rid of the playlists all the time, but they seem to be very aggressive about getting on these artists. Now, for context, Thurz has 76,969 monthly listeners.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Not somebody that would need to bot streams, especially when you see one of the most popular songs here is a song with Dr. Dre called Falling Up, that has 7 million views in itself, which would justify 600,000 for an album. People are looking forward to it. And like I said, it's a very influential artist. Well, we finally got a video where he's explaining more details and a little bit about the frustration that occurs from the perspective of an independent artist that is funding his own project. Thurz, take it away.
What's good, y'all? Wanted to tap in and give y'all an update on this Spotify situation. And I know it's a lot more important things going on in the world that are affecting human life. But, I still wanted to give y'all an update on, what I've been experiencing with this Spotify BS. I've noticed a reduction in my play count over the past week, and I wasn't tripping too hard. But, got on my app yesterday just to check the data, and I noticed that my album was off Spotify. So immediately, I try to figure out solutions, reasons why it's down. We hit up Spotify artists. They let us know that my album was flagged because they saw unusual activity compared to my previous releases.
What?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
He hits up Spotify for artists to figure out, hey, there's been a dip in my streams, and I identified it as because you took away a project that I just released, that I've been promoting, that once again, I tell you, comes off the strength of a recent collaboration with Dr. Dre, that comes off the strength of his own reputation, and you're saying that you don't understand why there's a spike in streams, and you immediately assume that it's because of botting or because of fake listener activity. I still stand by the theory that there's a large segment of the Spotify population that they identify as listeners and not fans because they're indeed listeners that are bots. I believe that. That's just my theory. But when you look at this, to me, for those of you that are watching this that are not independent artists, try to think of this in terms of you set up a shop on Wix or whatever you're using, Shopify. You set up a shop, you put your merchandise up, Nothing that you're doing is breaking their terms and conditions in terms of the nature of the merchandise they're putting up. Say it's a t-shirt. You're not breaking any of that kind of stuff, right? Nothing controversial. But they're telling you, yeah, we believe that so much of the activity on here, so many of the buys are fictitious. And you on the other end probably would want to get more valid information so you could stop whatever's going on here. But the thing about it is they're not presenting evidence, first of all. And second of all, if they do make an error, because a lot of these systems end up being automated or ironically ran by AI, there's not anything in place to put these songs back on the playlist they were on before they were taken down, especially not the ones where it's real playlisters putting them up and curating this. So this is already pretty problematic, but he's not done.
And that doesn't really make sense because I haven't released an album in years. Like, this is my first album in a long time. So they're comparing it to singles, and you know, I have like big features on this album. I have big production on this album, and I'm running promotion on this album. There's content, there's rollouts that are all attributed to pushing, you know, connection and pushing viewership of what we're doing. So of course there's going to be, you know, a bigger spike compared to other releases.
And wouldn't they want the bigger spike? Because at the end of the day, that would retain subscribers that are on their platform. What are you doing? Ecky? What's going on here? I understand the need to want to protect your money as a company like Spotify. I understand that there are people out here with malicious intent that are taking advantage of the system and have done that. There was a band that I remember years ago that released a silent album. It was like hella tracks on there, and the album was put underneath, I think, the meditation category, and they literally ran up hella money off of silence. So I can see why they want to be proactive in that, but don't penalize the artists that are, one, established, two, have shown you that they are willing to play within your system, and three, don't play with artists, especially after it's been years since they put up a project and they put money behind this. I remember, because I follow my guys, seeing the rollout that he had, the photo shoots that cost money, the mixing and mastering that costs money, the production that costs money, the video production that costs money. To have somebody be able to play with the end product like this, especially on a platform where I'm assuming most of and I should ask him, but I'm assuming most of his listeners are on Spotify. That seems to be an egregious use of power. Insane.
You know, they took this action. They didn't communicate anything. We had to contact them. So they let me know that the protocol or the process to follow is to have my distributor appeal their decision, and then push for reinstatement, push for review, and then push for revision.
So they want him to hit up his distributor, even though they made the decision based upon bots. What are they going to appeal? The evidence that you won't show Spotify? You know the coldest part about it? And I dealt with this issue when I took my music off of Spotify and off of streaming. I tried to get rid of my whole profile off of Spotify. I didn't want the smell of it around my brand. You know what they told me? We can't delete profiles. But if you just stop uploading to it and you take your music down, eventually it'll fall out of the searching or the search engine. What? It's not funny, but sometimes you have to laugh to stop from being angry or to stop from crying for some folks out here. But man, it's unfortunate to see Thurz in a situation because you know, it's rare individuals like this, and I feel like he should be somebody that is prioritized on this platform because of how much traffic he has driven to this platform.
So that my play count stays the same as it was before they started this reduction. So Spotify taking my album down is like really disrespectful, especially that there's no communication about it, that all my streams are real, all the effort is real. You know, I'm not trying to scam. If I was trying to scam, why the fuck would I just go for 600,000 streams.
Yeah, like the major labels do.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
It's okay when they do it, but he's not even doing that. That's the craziest part about it, is that he's expressing, why the hell would I go for 600,000 streams when I literally have songs up here with millions? Why would I go for to make it more believable? What do you think is the end goal? But I don't think it's a human being that's sitting behind these decisions at all. I think that it's an automated system. The same automated system that told me I can't delete my profile, it's the same thing. But I think as much as that is helpful, right, to that business model, they're able to downsize and not have as many employees on hand, it is absolutely frustrating when it comes to communication, especially for somebody who is operating their business in good faith and wanting to sell this music on this platform, right? I still don't look at streaming as, thank you, streaming, for distributing my music. I don't look at it as a privilege. I look at it as, I'm giving you the opportunity to rent and rent my art. I gave that permission. I uploaded this. Yes, I abide by your guidelines, but I'm giving you access to rent it. You see now why I be playing with these streaming platforms? You see now why I be adding tags to my songs like it's a type beat? CurtisKing.com. You see why I do it now? It's my art, and I'm giving you access to it. Don't get it twisted. And I really don't ever hear, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, I never really hear any stories about playlisters saying, damn, they took down my playlist. It's so unfair. It's almost like they benefit off of these fake playlists existing within their ecosystem. Outrageous.
It went for millions. If I'm going to try to scam, I'm going to try to break the bank.
Right.
Fuck. So it doesn't make sense. Seems like, they don't want independent artists to really win who are playing by the rules. It's very bothersome, so trying to figure out the next course of action. I've definitely been building some cool ideas, that I wanted to roll out with this album. But I'm going to try to expedite, those ideas, because more artists need to be appreciated and be able to monetize the IP, in a better way than just the fraction of cents that we get for thousands of plays. So it's crazy that a company that doubled in profits managed to pay artists less.
And one that paid Joe Rogan upwards of $200 million. Where y'all get that money from? Where you get that money from, Yak? Where you get that money from? Y'all are having record profits. Record profits. You finally are profiting. First of all, right? Record profits. Congratulations. It's just a shame that the artists have to be sacrificed in the process, especially the artists that, as he said, are playing by your rules, playing by your guidelines, listening to what you want, giving you the right dimensions on the artwork, giving you the quality that you're asking for, right? It's a shame that there is not a more proactive effort to make sure these artists, especially since things are in a pie system to begin with, you would think the more of the pie that you dominate, the more priority you are. It's like, okay, cool. You want to play with this? You want to play with my digital product? Cool. Well, then what can I do to create an experience that you cannot stream? Don't force the hand. These companies understand. Don't force the hand of people who use creativity as our livelihood. We're creative for a living. Boy, oh boy.
And then, me getting these 600,000 plays, seems like they don't want to pay out for those amount of plays.
Wow.
Especially how they reduced the play count. So it's a lot of issues to address, and yeah, Spotify, they're not for the artists. So, and we might have to take it back to the traditional systems.
That's right.
So I'm adding vinyls very soon. I'll get that pre-order link, hopefully live this week or next week. And man, that's gonna be a major way that I'm gonna need y'all to support this album. So yeah, vinyls and merch, man. And I have some ideas that I'm gonna communicate very soon.
Man, get your money, Thurz. Get your money. Why that sound like the end of the movie script? Get your money. Okay, I'm tailoring off. Here's the issue now with DistroKid that I wanted to bring to your attention. This is an artist that right now has a post that is going viral in which she's explaining a much different issue, but it still just shows you the problem with the way that a lot of these companies have downsized their staff and have really not improved upon their customer service in the process, and the problems that it's causing when you have other folks getting involved who have no business in music playing games. This artist named Sobi, she had some things to say about DistroKid, and she titled this, "Hi DistroKid, there's a problem." Peep this out.
Hi, there is a problem, and it's not exclusive to DistroKid, but DistroKid, I am looking at you. I personally have been using DistroKid since 2021, and I know some of you are going to be like, really DistroKid, but really the bar is in hell. I, like many other independent artists, pay for these music distribution companies to release our music independently. Subsequently, with that, should be, what I think is the most vital piece, is protection for our art. We are independent artists who do not have resources, connections, or support. And you would think with a service that you actively put money into that you would be getting this. No. Before I get into my story, I just want to say that I've already emailed support plenty of times. I've also talked to Spotify's artist escalations team. It's an issue all around. I could not be helped with.
I'll tell you what the reason why. Bot. F them up. She has a note here where she says, pause the video. It says, note, if you have seen this person, remember him from my artist page. Do not interact or mention him, especially relating to me, the issue, or anything adjacent. The situation overall is more than what is stated here and is being handled. You can make this situation worse and jeopardize my safety. Whoa. And well-being even more so. His name and image have been redacted for such reason. Oh, so this is deeper than just DistroKid not having a efficient customer service situation. The story that she's getting ready to tell, and I kind of got that vibe when I first saw the video, is getting closer and closer to actual stalking. This is insane.
That being said, this is my experience. In December 2023, a random song was uploaded onto my profile by being added as a collaborator without my permission. There was no warning, there was no email, it just spawned. I didn't even know that this was allowed or possible. Nonetheless, I found the person and I messaged them and I said, hey, can you please take this down? I didn't even get a direct response, I just got a waving emote.
I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I don't know how I could pull my fingers through the phone and grab you by the digital neck. I'll beat your ass. You upload my music without my permission, add me as a collaborator so that you can share in the money. You gonna do that with me, and then when I hit you up and I say, hey, my boy, take that shit down, you do this. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I don't know how I'm gonna get to you, but I'll beat your ass.
I researched how to take it off my own page, found Distro Fixer, got it off. It irritated me that I even had to do that because it shouldn't be like this in the first place, but it was just a one-time thing, so I was like, fine, it's fine. Months passed by. It happens again with the same person. Forgot to mention both songs he uploaded had my acapellas on it without my permission. I used Distro Fixer, I get it off my page, I emailed DistroKid, I'm like, hey, this happened again. Is there a way that I can prevent this? Which they said, no. They offered to remove the song from my page themselves, but they cannot prevent it from happening again.
Wow.
I start to get a little worried, and the only thing that I can do is hope that it just doesn't happen again. 2 months go by, uploads 2 more times, 2 days apart from each other. In the second upload, he uses 2 of my acapellas, and the cover art is an edit of our faces together.
What the hell are you doing, you simp ass? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what are you really doing? You don't see how that's creepy? What is your purpose for existing in this ecosystem of music if you're not going to upload your own music? But to her point, why is DistroKid allowing for anybody to just sign up, allowing for anybody to just claim as to be an artist without any kind of verification? Like DistroKid, and I've done sponsorships for DistroKid way back in the past, right? At the very least, they should have a ID verification system that ensures you are who you say you are. But I know why. I think these companies are hurting. And I'm going to show you why I feel that way. They're hurting for money. Their way of doubling that is to allow anybody to sign up, process that payment, and then say, let the chips fall where they fall. And I think that's a terrible strategy long term.
Edit of our faces together. At this point, I filed for copyright infringement for using my image without authorization or license, and I also asked for support from Spotify's Artist for Support team, which then got escalated to their Artist Escalations team. 2 days after that, there is another release put onto my profile by the same person with another edit of our faces together, and the name of the release is our initials.
Bro, you're creepy. You're a stalker, bro. You're literally a stalker, bro. That's weird energy, bro. There is no justification for this. This is harassment. This is stalking, disrupting her business. This, for what? For what?
This time, it's a whole album of songs, and the opening track, again, uses my acapella without my permission. I use Distro Fixer, I get the songs taken down. A week later, he uploads 2 more. The second song, instead of just using my acapella, he took my entire recent release and put it underneath his garbage, to say the least, and turn the volume down. Filed for copyright infringement, and this is the only one that actually worked. But before that actually got approved and did something, he had time to upload 2 more albums, added me as a collaborator for 2 tracks, used my face as the cover art, and used my government name as the first track on the second album.
Yeah, I definitely hope she got the authorities involved. That's ridiculous.
At this point, he's gotten away with uploading well over 50 songs, and he's taken at least 10,000 streams.
But we just did a story of Thurz having his 600,000 streams be taken down, even though it's verified that it's him and came from his account. But he had to present no evidence for that. Yet she brings this issue, escalates this issue directly with him. So this is what happens when you're not talking to human beings. This is what happens when you get Spotify cutting in places they should not be cutting in the name of their pockets, in the name of rewarding their biggest partners in podcasting. This is the kind of bullshit you get. Took 10,000 streams away. They had an opportunity to upload 50 songs. Bro.
From my page just by using my name. Fast forward a bit, the copyright hits. He no longer is allowed to upload any releases, no longer can add me as a collaborator. He can't take out his payouts.
Good.
I had a month of grace.
Oh, he was accepting payouts too. That's right. Wow.
Or he used a different distributor and is now doing the exact same thing. Now, I say all this to say, what the fuck do I pay you for?
Facts.
I went down every single avenue I could, and you failed me nearly every single time. And it could all really be so simple. If you just had 2FA, can I just get an email? If somebody wants to add me to a collaboration, a confirmation email. The lack of security, verification, protection is culpable, yet so easily fixable. The genuine lack of care for those that keep your company alive is shameful. My situation's bad, but at least I didn't have that many pennies taken away from me. I know of somebody that lost 16 million streams that also uses DistroKid. Hopefully this helps you recognize that your users' issues are not exclusive to name mix-ups or glitches in the system.
Unfortunate situation. I think I can explain, well, we have kind of covered this already, but I can kind of explain why these issues are happening specifically with DistroKid. Well, one of my assumptions is that they just don't have the staff. Shout out Anthony Fantano. Had an opportunity to officially meet him on Justin's United Culture stream. So about a month ago, he interviewed a gentleman that was a part of the union over at DistroKid. Here's an update that I think really is related to what Sobi just shared with us. This may explain the terrible customer service.
And, currently right now, like, what is the union DistroKid relationship as of right now? Because at least in terms of like some of the articles and background that I've read around this leading up until this point, it seems like a lot of these layoffs have been centered around unionized DistroKid workers. Is that just something that happened by chance, or was there like kind of a focus there in terms of like who was canned?
Yeah, we definitely don't think that was by chance. Nobody who is not in the union was laid off. So only union members were laid off. They laid off about half of our union, also about a quarter of the staff, the DistroKid staff.
A quarter of DistroKid staff that was already underserving their customer base is gone.
But we don't believe that this was random. We believe that this is union busting. This is DistroKid penalizing us for forming a union and for trying to, gain a seat at the table and be able to discuss issues of pay and benefits. DistroKid is saying it's under the guise of saving some money, but the value of money that they'd be saving compared to their worth, what we make every year, how we grow, is extremely small. It's like half, as far as I know, it's like half of what we spend on Facebook ads alone.
Wow.
They're laying off 37 people to save that amount of money. So in the grand scheme of things, the money that they're saving is kind of negligible compared to the value and the expertise that these employees bring to DistroKid. So we think that this may have happened eventually because we're being replaced with outsourced workers. So we think that was going to happen. The outsourcing happened even before we formed the union, and that was a part of why we formed the union. Ostensibly, they're saying it's to save money. Really, I think it has to do with kind of speeding up this outsourcing process.
Okay, DIYers, as I look at both of these stories, it is insane the way that independent artists are being pushed out of the conversation, being pushed away from the table. But this is something that if you've been following this channel was nothing new. You knew this was going to happen. It was just a matter of time before it happened to you. I think what we're seeing are the people who are truly independent at this moment. I stand by these companies are probably the closest thing to independent businesses in music that we know of. Record labels, of course, too. But I look at these tech companies, I look at Spotify and say they are able to enjoy a bit of their independence, right? Obviously, 70 cents of every dollar is going to the Sony Music, Warner Brothers, and UMG, Universal Music Group. But now that they're able to actually turn a profit through the ridiculous ways that they have put artists, independent artists, on the back burner, they're able to have more independence and enjoy more independence than even independent artists. So my challenge to independent artists who see this story, who get angered, who are worried and concerned, ask yourself, what are you doing to make your business truly independent? I know that there's a lot of people that think that independence is, I'm on streaming platforms. I'm independent on here. I'm really starting to look at that Arsonist quote a lot differently from last year. Remember we covered a story about Arsonist when he was like, how could you be independent when these record labels like UMG are in the pockets of Spotify and you're inevitably paying them. You're just not officially signed on the books. It makes so much more sense, and that aged really well. Shout out to Arsonist. I'm in a place now where I'm looking at this and I'm saying having a website is definitely the step in the right direction towards true independence. Why? Because I'm not dependent upon Spotify, dependent upon Apple Music, dependent upon Bandcamp even, because there's some things going on there with their AI training that I have issues with. But DIYers, this is the age of independence. There's a lot of things and a lot of access that we have, but it has not come without sacrificing some of the things that earlier were just layups for us. But that's cool. That's the price that we pay for the autonomy that we'll fight for and that we want so badly to hold on to. These are my thoughts, though, DIYers. You let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.